monitor something at the pumps, and it's much to the many who were expecting that fuel prices will go up across board. Here's what we've seen. Some oil marketing companies have started reviewing prices of petroleum products at the pumps with mixed adjustments. Prices of petrol have reduced marginally, but the prices of diesel have gone up. So, for instance, Goil is now selling a liter of petrol at 12 cedis 7 pesos from the old price of 12 cedis 38 pesos. It's been reduced by some 31 pesos per liter. That's as of today. Now, diesel, we have also monitored, has actually increased from 12 cedis 88 pesos and is now selling at 13 cedis 20 pesos. That has also gone up by the same margin that petrol has reduced. So diesel has gone up by about 31 pesos thereabout, and then we're seeing as well petrol gone down by that same margin of 31 pesos. So what's happening? The man who understands the dynamics of this market and had actually projected that there was going to be some stability in terms of the price of petroleum products at the pumps in this pricing window, the first pricing window in the month of July. Duncan Amoah is Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, COPEC. Duncan, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Alfred, and thanks for having me.
Now, so how do we make sense of what's happening at the pumps today now that diesel has gone up by 31 pesos per liter, petrol gone down by 31 pesos per liter? What's going on?
It feeds into our broader demand earlier for the pumps to remain stable. You recall we were specific with two of the big companies, Goil, Total, that some of the prices that was quoted for the past window clearly were a bit higher than the market had anticipated. But then again, you got a sense that they were not willing to go down within the window on some of the products because there was latent disruptions here and there that was costing them a lot of money. But as it stands, if you look at just the numbers we have seen so far, probably with Goil and then Shell, you get a clearer picture that it's more of a stability than an upward review. If you go down 31, you come up 31. In one breath, you could have left both prices, what we call cross pricing. There's an effect here, there's an effect on the other one, but since we don't want to disrupt prices, we sometimes will leave the prices for what they are. I am happy that Goil indeed decided to come down on the cost of petrol. The only bit they should have done a bit more for all of us is the other product, the RON 95, which is still selling about 14. I think that they will need to look at it again because that price again, even for the market currently, is a bit on the high. But that said, generally, a lot of the oil marketing companies have been stable on their prices for this new window in July, and that for us is very welcoming.
But then again, also, it appears that the earlier fears we had about the impact that this Israel-Iran conflict would have on crude oil prices has been watered down, is it not? Because I'm looking at the price of Brent crude on the Bloomberg terminal right now, and it's trending downwards to a little over just $68 per barrel. As against just about a week ago, we're talking about some $72 a barrel, trending towards even $80 at some point. So how do you envisage things will play out in going into the second pricing window?
Well, the truth is that the Israeli-Iranian, tension did have some impact on international markets. If you look at the cost of, which is PMS for the window, it did move from $691 a barrel to about $740 a barrel, per metric ton. This is the cost of finished product per metric ton, 691,740. Difference of some $49 a metric ton. Diesel did also go up from 625 to 722, about $97 a metric ton. LPG also has seen about $36 from 456 to 492. There was some effect, but don't forget the Ghanaian market is a very competitive one. Some of the players or oil marketing companies that had adjusted downward, some are actually trading even petrol for around 10.99. Others are around the 11 region. For those OMCs, if they were to go up a little, marginally, it will be understood. For the others that were already trading higher, when we requested that they probably stay their prices or give the Ghanaian some stability with the prices they quote at the pumps, we were quite mindful of the fact that it was feasible, it was doable. I could not see how God would have told Ghanaians they were adding on the cost of petrol. Although the international market had gone up by some $49 a metric ton, you've seen that they've rather declined on that specific item. Diesel that did go up by some 97. I'm sure they couldn't have done much but to go up a little on that. Truth be told, the Iranian-Israeli conflict did have some impact on the cost of finished product. Again, for the new window that we have just begun for July, the indications are pointing downward. The trend is looking quite good. And as it is with crude prices and the cost of finished products, every time crude goes up, Alfred, you have about a 5-day lag within which the cost of finished products also follow. And so now that crude prices seem to have tumbled globally, there's every possibility that the 740 we were witnessing for a metric ton would decline probably back to the 600 region. Diesel around 722 could also decline back to the 600 region. If that happens, probably the second half of July, we should see prices drop. And that is where I think the government and the GRA is getting the indication they should fit in the 1 Ghana cedi levy that had been passed about a month ago.
And I do appreciate your expert analysis of this situation and how the coming days and even the second pricing window would look like. Thank you so much, Duncan, for your time this evening.
Thanks for having me.
Duncan Amwa is Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, there. And on the same path of this levy, that's the energy sector levy, that an additional 1 cedi was approved by Parliament. It was earlier suspended. The implementation of that 1 cedi additional levy was suspended. The Ghana Revenue Authority yesterday, late hours of yesterday, has announced that the implementation of the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Act 2025 will officially begin on July 16, 2025, following the temporary suspension last month. In a statement signed by the Acting Commissioner General, Anthony Akwesi Sapong, the authority referenced its earlier communication on June 13, which disclosed the government decision to postpone the levies rollout. Richmond Roxon, who speaks for the Energy Ministry, has been talking a lot more about this development.
And then the big issues for the support for this levy. Initially, concerns were raised, and as has always been the case, the Minister of Energy and Green Transition continued to engage stakeholders. So that now there's been a lot of endorsements and support, and as you rightly referred to, the Global Info Analytics survey shows that the people of Ghana want stable power supply, and they recognize that this will be a key intervention to resolving the problems, especially liquid fuels when it comes to the production or generation of power. Initially, we were supposed to, when this amendment was passed, we were supposed to start implementation, but the OMCs raised some issues. As conscious as the government is, the government stayed the decision, engaged them, resolved the issues that they had, and we're supposed to implement this from the 16th of June. Before that, we had unfortunate conflict between the two countries that led to some disturbance in geopolitics and the prices of crude oil and fuel on the international market. The monitoring has been done as the President directed, that the Minister of Finance as well as the Minister of Energy and Green Transition to monitor to ensure that the gains made are sustained. Over the last 2 weeks, the ministers have done comprehensive monitoring, also done comprehensive consultation, and have decided that it will be ideal to commence the effective date from 16th of July 2025.
Right.
At this point in time, it will be difficult to give specific numbers. What we expect is that we expect prices to be fairly stable as it's been. In the last 8 or 9 pricing windows, we've seen prices over around 10, 11, 12, depending on which OMC you purchase from. In the next pricing window, we'll look at the dynamics, what the indicators will be. So far, it's obvious that the exchange rates will still be stable. It's around 10.2 now. We'll look at the price of crude, which has dropped at the last check this morning, was around $65 per barrel. We'll also look at the international prices for finished products within the period, look at the average and determine what the prices will be. But our indications are that prices will be fairly stable. Even if there will be any change, definitely it should be marginal. Yes, the government so far has showed that it is concerned about what the fuel prices are, concerned about the gains that we've made, concerned about the economic situation that the country finds itself. The government's intention is not to unfairly ask the people of Ghana into difficulty. So as and when the prices escalate, definitely, as the government has showed, the government will take a look at it and then take a decision whether to suspend, review, or even proceed with it. So be rest assured, the people of Ghana have the assurances of government that at every material point in time, their interest will be paramount in the implementation of this levy. The most important thing is that the power challenges must be dealt with decisively. Once this levy is introduced, we'll have a dedicated fund to procure liquid fuel and then also resolve some of the challenges that we've seen in order to give the people of Ghana a clean energy sector that we met it.
That's Richmond Roxon. He speaks for the Energy Ministry there. Let's go to some stories related to the gold board, shall we?
Yes, we shall. The Ghana Gold Board also